Welcome back for our last match. JJ and Co are riding high after a strong win earlier today, and the other side, Slime Belief, looking to bounce back from their tough loss in their first match. Both teams got something to prove. Goose, JJ and Co, they came out swinging in their opening match. Dramatic win, seemingly effortless, but it was very early on in the day, or in the evening here. Does this chalk momentum?
I don't think it chalks momentum. I think the biggest thing for JJ and Co was just the Mr. B system didn't work out, whether it be just the mesh of personalities wasn't there or the structure that Mr. B was bringing into this roster didn't fit with how the players wanted to play. It just didn't work. A 7-2 on Chalet, even if it was against 1HP, still a phenomenal showing. Then a 3-7 on Cafe, 3-7 on Chalet with the Mr. B. Eventually, Mr. B did leave, and bringing in now Bry, I think it's kind of a situation where the best of one that we saw today was fantastic. That coordination that was lacking on the attack was there. Before today, they had the second worst attacking rate with 23%, and that's something that was fixed. I think it's kind of a situation where we can really just say, from a third-person point of view, that just Mr. B just wasn't the right fit.
Yeah. So, Crow, heading in today, Slime Belief, they had an unshakable record. They dominated with an undefeated streak, but their first match of the day also brought their first taste of defeat. So the question is, can they shake it off? It's back-to-back.
I think so. Being able to take, as, again, like Thomas so eloquently put in the all chat, a 7-7, a PL team against a Thomas stack, I think there's a lot of pride in that loss from Slime Belief because, again, even though it was a loss, they're against a pro team with 2 subs, but still 4 pro players, with the exception of Ash, who's still pretty good. You take them 7-7, and you get an incredibly important point. Like we mentioned, if they even bring JJ to overtime, JJ's playing the plans. That's it. So there's a lot of pressure on JJ right now, and JJ rosters in the past, even current JJ rosters, what am I talking about? JJ has always struggled against hyper-aggressive teams. It happened in E4. It happened against Friendship Team and against Fans Coast. It could very well happen again against Slime Belief.
Well, as we approach the final map of the day and the stakes feeling higher than ever, really, both teams are hungry for the win, and now it's time to lock in the battlegrounds. The map bans will be crucial. Goose, anything standing out to you early on here?
Layer being banned, no surprise whatsoever. Slime banning out Border, though, is a little bit more of a surprise to me. I don't think it's kind of a sense where they wanted to not immediately go there, but it's kind of a sense where I think they would be okay going back to it. It's not a sense where JJ's going to have time to VOD review, even if he does. I've been told that he doesn't do that much VOD reviewing, but I think it's kind of a sense where it's a map that I think they saw clear problems that they didn't want to try to immediately go back to it. Because it's a map that you can just let go through the man phase. And if you have to go to that map versus, like, let's say a console, then you'd happily take that. So I think them banning that out really says something strong here.
I call labs. Look at that. I'm a genius. Oh my goodness. It's not like Zay told us beforehand. What can I say? That's actually interesting because Garage Talks did not play this map. The last Thomas team with Thomas and Uzi, they did not play this map. JJ's team plays this map. At least they did. Wait, let me hold on. Yeah, because they haven't played it yet in Crucible. So another interesting map pick. This time, Slime Belief kind of on the opposite side because right before Border they played, Friendship Team never played. This time Slime Belief, the core, quote-unquote, core 2 of the players. Didn't really play this map. JJ did. Zim's old team did, though, back with Joe on TSG. This was also one of their favorite maps. So I'm really interested. Labs is also not a map that you can get, not a map you can get funky on, like you can on Border. It's much more strategic when it comes to your extensions. You can't just run all over the place like Slime Belief did last map. So very interested to see what I assume will be a drastic shift in play style.
Yeah, it has to be, right? And Crow, you were mentioning that earlier, is that JJ hasn't done well in the past against really hyper-aggressive teams. Yeah. Nighthaven is going to slow that down. Does that give them that strategic advantage? Are they going to come with the win here because it's Nighthaven picked?
Maybe. That's a definite maybe. Because, again, you live and die off your extensions. You can't run around the map quite as easily as you can on Border. You can still play an entry denial style, like type aggression, though, on your defense especially. We were just talking about how much JJ's team so far has struggled on the attack. Slime Belief, I think, another weakness that JJ has is giving up those opening picks and some of his players not getting wrangled quickly enough. Slime Belief, I mean, their opening pick rate was basically the same against Friendship Team, 80, 90%. And it was a big problem that JJ had against TSG and against Cruelty in E4 playoffs. So while I think the map may be more strategic in a sense, Slime Belief still can play it aggressively. They just have to be a little bit smarter about it.
So, Goose, we talk about JJ and Co. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride here, right? And we're getting sort of closer to the end part of the tournament. This starts to become kind of really impactful games for this team. Like, give us some final thoughts here on going into this final match of the day.
You know, I think if we had the last match against a team that challenged them more, that map allowed them to play more aggressive, play more into what they really like. I think this matchup probably will be more difficult, not because JJ and Co. is a better team. I don't have to say that pro players are, a better set 5, but I think this map will take away kind of that, falling back point of just playing that raw, pure aggression, taking Friendship Team off guard. This is a map where you have to play more structured. Obviously, there are small glimpses of playing aggressive, going for those quick takes, especially onto the basement bomb site. But this is going to be a map and a matchup overall that's really going to test how deep Slime Belief's overall bag is as a team.
So, and then also final thoughts from you, Crow. We're heading into the last match of the evening. Like, what is, I guess, the big expectation here? Are we going all the way to overtime? Is this going to be a back and forth? I mean, feels like it could be.
Who starts on defense? Is it JJ or Slime? Slime Belief starts on defense. No. I think it's going to be, if this ends up being a close game, it's going to be a dominant half from one team and then a dominant half from the other.
Okay. Well, it's set up. The lobby is ready. It's time to see if your predictions will ring true. Take us away, Crow and Goose. Great bet.
Thank you very much. Once again, glitter_whiskey. Slime Belief, like you said, starting on defense. So last map, right, we saw the Blackbeard ban against Friendship Team. Of course, we are going to see that again because JJ and Co. have a fearsome Blackbeard player who goes by the name of Recited, and JJ and Co. are going to take down the Deimos, who is a powerful operator on Labs. There's a lot of verticality. A lot of Deimos was used against JJ and Co. by both DSG and Team Cruelty. And then Tubarao.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah,
it's are we gonna have a Valkyrie up? Because Slime Belief probably want to ban Fenrir or Zami.
We'll see.
Perhaps.
Oh no. Okay.
No. That's okay.
So sad. It's all right. It's all right. We can move past her. We don't need her.
We don't.
We got bulletproof camps.
I also did you take a look at the JJ and Co team chat?
I have not.
There is a screenshot of Royal with the stream preview thing. JJ is stood up out of his chair with his arms out, presumably hip thrusting.
I think that's a good assumption.
His team is pumped. If you all saw the Twitter on the clip on Twitter of what he does before game days, I think JJ and Co are ready. I was also gonna say, what role is Bry gonna play? Because Bry used to be an entry, and they were kind of trying to get Emilio to be a little bit more aggressive when they had Mr. B, who was gonna play support, and yada yada yada. Yeah. Bry is still kind of on an aggressive op. I assume that he is going to use his Flores drones pretty early on the round and then just become an entry, so he's still on a very similar role. Yeah. My problem with that is when he was on Wildcard, Aces, he was not great as a primary entry, or even like a secondary entry. He really, really struggled in E3 or 2 with the opening game. Hopefully with JJ, he's a little bit better because he does have two incredibly talented entries to play behind in Recited and Snake.
And I think it's kind of a sense where this JJ roster, now going back to kind of a sense where you don't have that Mr. Beep system player, and also JJ plays more of a flex role. That's what I've heard, at least. So it's kind of more of a fluid system where you have multiplayers who can shot call, and that is a very strong thing, but it's going to put a lot of pressure onto the shoulders of, Snake Shotgun Champ, if you're not familiar with his new username, or Brian Recited. Recited even having a little bit of a brief history of being somewhat inconsistent. So it's really going to be up to whether or not these players can show up. If they can have a fantastic entry game, like you said before, and if that doesn't happen, will there be something that JJ and Co prop up to compensate for it? And if there's not, well, it's simple enough, they lose. But again, in the early round, only so much you can tell using those floors, exactly like you said, just, prodding, just trying to find an avenue into the bomb site.
And in comes Bry with 3 Flores in pocket, taking control of E-Box, but Emilio is our first casualty. Thomas flanks Connector and takes down 2. Both the hard breachers dead. There's a drone there!
Oh.
That was unwatched. Recited collects the kill, but the damage has been done. 3 players remaining on JJ and Co. They've got Zim stuck in a corner, but thanks to the Azami, he's able to get away, and Uzi off-screen kills Bry in E-Box. Now a 4v2 as Snake is still stuck outside of IT, looking to finish off the Jaeger that he had attempted to trap earlier, but Zim now playing safe, and wow, smoking Snake on the re-engage from above the cabinet. Recited now alone, and he can't even win the close fight. The SMG-12 duel goes Reaper's way, and Slime Belief start off with a win.
A very simple round. The entirety of that round fell down to the flank. Tommy just not only getting those 2 kills, but specifically getting the ace. They weren't able to open that server wall, even if we're just talking about the pure fact of them being down 2 players in a 3v5. You don't have an easy way into the site. You don't have any map control. You're not able to get that player inside of IT. And the simple fact that there was a drone there goes to show, for me at least, maybe it's just a round where they just weren't fully locked in. They're still settling in. They just need to get their foot in the door. But I think this is a roster where, especially after dropping such an influential and important player like Didi, that the JJ and Co has gone through a figuring out phase, trying to find their identity, because there really isn't one. And this is something that, JJ specifically in his rosters does every couple of months, of when he hits a skill ceiling, he will make a player change. And so far, it has mixed results. 2-2, those 2 losses against very good opponents, Friendship Team and Banskos. But it's just a sense where it doesn't really feel like everything is figured out on this roster.
I wonder if they, do you get another roster move before playoffs? Right?
Yeah, that is correct.
I wonder if JJ are going to make another roster move to bring in...
Are they going to pick up Kiru again?
Player?
Who knows?
That'd be incredibly funny. I don't know if you can do that. I think
no, you can't. You can't.
I think the rule that you can't pick anyone who's played a Crucible game still applies. I think.
It does. It does.
How do you know?
I mean, that's what I was told. I could have been lied to.
Zay is a chronic liar. Pathological, one might say. You cannot trust anything he says. You can trust him and the entries, though. He is an incredibly talented entry player. He was with TSG. He was last map. It's like he'll continue to be so. Recited dead. And they're just going to go for a quick hack drop because it was Saw, but Bry gets cut down immediately. Uzi gets refrag. JJ in the middle of assembly is somehow still alive, but there's a player in tank, and he gets finally killed by the Azami. Zim finishes him off, and now this player behind Pillar is causing a ruckus. Down goes Reapers finally on the floor. Technically now in a 2 versus 2 as Snake finishes him off with the nade. But both Emilio and Snake are pretty low on HP. Emilio definitely worse off of the 2. And there's a 2 versus 2. And, well, the bad part about where they tried to attack from, Goose, they can't get out. They're stuck here. There's a mirror window staring them down. And this round should be a lost cause.
Oh, they don't have defuse either. It really is going to take a strong effort from Slime Belief to go out of their way to lose this, whether it be just Thomas overswinging, not even being able to hit his bark a lot of the time on the clock, but they're just trapped. There's nowhere for them to go. Diffuser not in their possession. Just tried to go for Brogue, but a 2v1 just allowed to happen. But Sim, he's able to find one.
Yeah, we're good.
A second, he's able to shut down. A third for him in the round. Almost one of those rounds where you just like, did he just let that happen? He didn't.
Yeah.
I think it really a great round to show and contest on just how good individually Slime Belief is. Specifically Zim, who I talked about before, has had relatively kind of an event before these 2 games today where he was a little bit slow, but in this game, the one previous against Friendship Team, he's really shy.
Yeah, as soon as I saw them walk past, I was like, "Uh-oh," and then I remembered it was Zim. So,
yeah.
No problem there. Slime Belief with a quick 2-0 scoreline. I respect the attempt there from JJ and Co, but Slime Belief were unfortunately ready for it. Now, Storage Control is the new bomb site, the tertiary site. JJ and Co not switching up their lineup too much. Recited has been on a bit of a carousel of operators so far. First on the Dokkaebi, then on the Ram, now on the Ash, as Bry also has been switching things up. Oh, never
not on
mind.
the Twitch.
Not on the Twitch. Right?
Always keeping you guessing.
See, I never learned my lesson. You never talk about operators on the attack before the timer locks them. Bry, though, on Grim, JJ and Co will probably go for a full clear. That is what they tend to prefer, especially with the sledge at their disposal. It's also, again, interesting that you take the sledge and not Buck here. I guess maybe for the nades, but you could also just play not Mav. Do that.
I mean, still have Thatcher on the board. I don't want to say that they're trying to do too much, but they have a specific plan, a specific idea in mind. But if they just can't get these simple factors of like clearing a roamer, watching that flank, letting Zach kill JJ with the ace, and your only hard breach option now is the 1 and single cat opener that is also gone because Thomas finds a C4, and now a 3v4 where JJ and Co, they're just gonna have to go for these gunfights.
And like I said, you can get aggressive on labs, you just in a different way than you can on border, and Slime Belief have been playing this entry denial style of defense. They've been meeting JJ and Co when they try to enter the building. They've been going for these aggressive flanks. JJ and Co have yet to prove that they can handle it. He's recited and Emilio, the 2 top fraggers for this team, are still alive, and Emilio will put Zach down. Now a 3 versus 3. Uzi looking up the hatch. Potential target almost making his way over, but Snake has since been downed. Not sure by what, because none of the C4s have been thrown. Maybe he stepped in a goo mine and he was low enough HP. I don't really know. Maybe he downed himself with a nade. Who knows? It seems like they are aware of Uzi's position, and as soon as he gets the kill, he gets C4. Zim with the drop shot with the pistol on Recited. Because there's no one to trade, the lone Twitch player, Emilio, finds himself the last man standing. Recited was with the team. They could have, I mean, they still had a whole minute left. They could have waited for that kill onto Uzi and then have him pushed in. There was information on Recited the whole time because the default cam is still up in the hallway. Emilio takes it down, thereby revealing his position, but he does not know where Zim has skirted off to. The Mozzie now inside storage with the Reapers playing inside the huge warehouse position. Now about 25 seconds remaining, and another bulletproof cam spots Emilio. Zim with the easy kill. Now 7-0, I believe.
I mean, I talked about specific. I don't want to say that I called him out, but I did shine the light that he, especially compared to his other events like Element 4 on TSG, just kind of a slow overall start for Crucible, but these 2 games really showing how much potential he has. And in that round specifically, the sheer capability for JJ and Co to just not use the info they have. We spoke about the first round, just not watching the flank cam, allowing for Thomas to go with the flank, and 2 kills, especially the very first one where JJ walked his way over to, I believe it could have been IT wall. I don't believe they opened it. More than likely would have been Raptor's door, where he just lost his life. And one thing I noticed was, when watching back the round, a 1v2 for JJ and Co, is they had 6 cams on the board. It's not like Slime Belief is going out of their way to just get rid of this info, and that JJ and Co has no drones in their hands and their capability to find this info. They're just not using it, and on top of that, not shooting the default cams gives so much info to Slime Belief. That's really where I think that they're being beat.
Yeah, down 0-3. Never how you want to begin a map. Now JJ, in an act of pure desperation, swaps onto the Monty. He and Bry both still looking for their first kill. JJ's team, combined, has as many kills as Zim. That's pretty accurate description of how the game has gone. That's kind of one of those rare moments where the scoreboard kind of does tell the story. JJ and Co are having also a little bit of the same issue that they had against both TSG and Cruelty, where they're losing opening picks like that, and nobody's getting traded ever. Never. No trade. He was alone. Why is recited alone as Nomad? No one around him. Dies. And now JJ, the rest of the team is upstairs. JJ is trying to push in with the Monty. There's an open connector wall he has to deal with, and I'm sure someone in E-Box. And never mind. All right, connector wall closed. It's gone. And there's a bandit playing behind it, so good luck opening it.
On top of that, you can see that Snake was just waiting over by cargo window, just hopefully trying to find Thomas on the flank. And they understand that Thomas is not the bomb site. They understand that they don't have 100% info on where he is, and that he's kind of applying a little bit of phantom pressure. He can flank at any time. And speaking of flank, that is exactly what he does.
Through the floor? Was that?
What?
Yeah,
yes!
An impact
oh
through the
my
floor.
God!
What a play from Thomas, and Zim with that boss G takes down another player. Brian Emilio do have a kill apiece, but it's still a 2 versus 3. And Bry with the case very low on HP. All rhymed. Zim with his first death, now 8-1, but the shotgun close from Reapers is sure to take down Bry. Flashbang's going out. He forgot he was Warden, I guess. Bry, though, does get traded out by Thomas immediately, giving the Ella his 3rd kill of the round. And Emilio knows about this crossfire. He knows Zach is in IT. He knows Thomas is in command thanks to the laser sight on the doorway. He's attempting to isolate this fight, but these defenders playing so passive, knowing they just have to play off each other's contact. And with the bait from the Azami, Thomas swings through 4 kills for the team captain and 4 rounds for Slime Belief.
And another round where not only you lose that opening pick, but to a player who should not have been isolated. Pause. I hope it is a... I don't know if you want to take a timeout at this point, because you still have a chance to win these last 2 rounds. It is a defender-sided map. But nonetheless, going back to my point, it's just a situation where I don't really see an effort for JJ and Co. to... it was a technical timeout. To just find this information, find these players, letting Thomas just run around the map with Ella. We talked about in the pre-show how stuff like that wouldn't be allowed to happen, but JJ and Co., with their lapse of judgment on their info, is allowing for these players, these isolated, aggressive roamers, to get away with these picks completely, not only untraded, but no immediate pressure pushing that player back. He didn't have to fall back to the bomb site until he wanted to get that 2v1. He just sat down on the first floor, continued to apply that phantom pressure, because JJ understood that they didn't have 100% info on where he was. And because of that, they always had to keep an eye out. And somehow, some way, he found that kill on the JJ below, inside connector to the exact same, not exact same place, but the exact same position where he found him in the first round. And it's kind of a situation where it really just does feel like that this JJ and Co roster, as of right now, just isn't really meshing well.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
It's crazy how different this team looks from before.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they've made a couple roster changes, but it's like fundamentally
It's
seems to just not be there. Now we're going back down to the basement, where JJ and Co. had a... I don't want to say they didn't have a great roam clear, because they basically didn't have one at all. They just lost a body and were like, well, we're going down the hatch. And it didn't work. So I guess for the first time, we'll see how they end up roam clearing this site against Slime Belief. There are 2 players off-site, Zach and Thomas, both on separate floors. We'll maybe see another player roam. I imagine, like Zim, yeah, now in vending, probably just playing for, to 1, protect Zach, who's playing in cafeteria, and 2, probably just play for a fall-off with those drones, help cover the Mozzie if he attempts to fall back. JJ and Co do start on the lobby side. Should spot out relatively quickly now that Thomas is rotated downstairs at the top floor is ready for the taking. No one's up there. They'll probably be able to go to work with this sledge, whose first target should be these roamers. This is crazy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gonna waste the C4 too. Why not? Might as well use that additional utility. Not being able to get rid of Zach. They are able, though, to save their life. They're not able to win that entry pick, but they are able to deny Slime Belief from winning it. And I think it's kind of a sense where you see JJ and Co. In a sense respecting, but also fearing this pure aggression from Slime Belief, because they don't fully understand where these positions are. They don't fully understand what Slime Belief is trying to do. You can see that they have complete control of kitchen and dining, but that's because it's been given to them. They didn't take it. Slime Belief gave it to them. He's still having a player, Thomas, almost losing his life. And now, I mean, again, a player right over on vending stairs, Zim. No drone on him. It's a sense where they just don't know he's going to be. The drone, though, will eventually come out, will force him to push back down towards the bomb site inside of Exosuit. And this top floor has been completely vacant and given to JJ and Co. to start and work this vertical.
JJ looking to hold onto the staircase to prevent any re-aggress as vertical is being established now. Fight being taken by Zim, but can't find anything. Still got his shield on the doorway so he can stop anyone attempting to come through the breach. More of the ceiling now falls, but he still holds firm. 50 seconds remaining for JJ, and still have not fully cleared upstairs. Zach is still by control room, but it looks like they might just want to try and get aggressive here. Dealing a lot of damage to Thomas. Emilio looking inside assembly, almost spots the warden there, but as he goes prone, he reveals just enough of himself for Zim to go down to Emilio. But there's a response from Reapers with the C4, and Thomas takes the head off Snake. JJ now in a plant position, but Zach, again, still upstairs. The C4 missed. Reapers just pushes in, but he doesn't look at JJ, and he dies to the coverage. What just happened? He was like touching him. He was right there, backing into JJ, but staring at the doorway. It took so long for him to die. If he just looked left, they probably win the round.
Wow. I think that's one of the rounds where it's the definition of Slime Belief just dropped the ball.
Did he just like pat him on the head and then continue
He tried to give him a hug.
Like, yeah.
Like, he gave him a little side hug with his like left shoulder. Like, okay, let me finish this guy right in front of me.
Reached down, tussled his hair while walking past.
Gave him a little nice smell.
Clearly
he didn't like what he saw because he didn't deal with him. He just wanted to immediately focus on the guy in front of him.
JJ smelled far too good to kill, apparently.
Yeah, just had to let him live. Or, you know, maybe they just felt bad. They wanted JJ to have one. Who knows? I think now you can see that Slime Belief, they're going back down to the same bomb site. It's kind of a sense where they realize the entirety of that round just fell down to a poor execution denial in that last 30 seconds of the round. It's something that's easy to fix. Also, bringing a completely new addition of Zach with this Scopos is in theory, going to give JJ and Co. if timed correctly. Scopos is an operator. If you don't time her correctly, she's almost useless. So if timed correctly, this could give JJ and Co. a problem that they necessarily haven't shown us that they're able to deal with.
Okay. Me when Bandit. Oh, he doesn't have time to do it again, so at least one breach will get open. The same breach we saw last time. So Zach is in cafeteria and his clone is upstairs, it looked like. Is it like meeting? Is that what I saw?
It was a meeting. Yeah, it was a meeting.
All right.
I saw a little glimpse of it. Oh.
Dude, he's just do you think he saw him? He's just sitting here waiting. This could be a freebie, and if it is, it will be incredibly funny. But they have to work on pushing out Zach first. Wait. Oh, he's not doing it yet.
He sees him, he can wallbang him. He can wallbang him too if he sees him.
He doesn't feel any pressure, so he's not planning on switching. And Thomas, with the run out, gets a kill on JJ, but Snake is there for the response. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for it to happen. Someone's going to push Zach, but no, he's just going to go downstairs. Now he doesn't need to do it. I mean, maybe if Resighted sits here long enough and Zach is like, ooh, I'm going to flank. Then, oh. No, still.
Oh. He's baiting us.
I'm getting teased.
What's going
on here?
Come on.
Do it.
Give it to us. It's just,
he just shot it.
Oh, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. Minute left on the clock. Just trying, again, to work the vertical. Another round where JJ and Co. is given this first floor relatively easily. This time they did go out of their way, put a good effort to kind of shut it down and push these players back into the bomb site rather than Slime Belief giving it to them. But you're not going to make that same mistake than you did in the round previously, bringing out Recited over on the breach, extra little change to apply pressure with that old hole, but they may not be aware of this player prone.
He's hitting the crip walk. He's hitting the backside crip walk. Zach, though, with that Scopos, takes down Bri. Oh no, the breach is closed, so they're gonna know. His presence will be known if he ends up going for it. Emilio has to worry about this zombie in the site. There's the breach from Recited. He wins the fight against Zim. That opens the opportunity now for Snake to get into the bomb site, into that default corner and plant, but Recited gets over aggressive and gives up his life to Zach. Emilio's got a response, but there's someone prone on the holes. I can't believe it. They had everything going for them. All Recited had to do was hold the right side of the Kiba passive, but he overswings, maybe worried about a C4 throw. And JJ and Co. drop a 1-5 half.
That's just not what you want to do. It back-to-back rounds where it just falls down to the execution phase. JJ and Co. moving really slow. And like
sorry, I saw a rival was saying Rene. He's planted talking about Reapers. Someone in chat said, "Who's Rene?" And Cohen responded, "Thomas." What a troll, bro. Sorry. As you were saying.
I don't even remember what I was saying anymore.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay, I'll pick it up. I remember now. It just fell down to that execution phase, and this is something that I actually wrote down in my notes, is that JJ and Co. moves very slow, in that defending teams, when they defend against JJ and Co., will realize this and force JJ and Co. to go for the execution, realizing that they're not necessarily good at their time management, that cohesion isn't there as of late, and the exact same happened that exact round. And this formula continues to have an effect, and it really goes back to the idea that just this structure, this roster at the moment, even with just simply one additional player coming in, is not working.
Although, now JJ on the defense. Perhaps the tide can turn. Now on the typically more advantageous side. JJ 0-5, by the way. Just want to point that out.
Usually this is his map. Like he turns into like prime Bolo on this map. It's not working this time around.
I still remember that one game. I don't even remember who it was against. But that one game where JJ just became a beast.
I think he dropped 20 once.
Like, morbidly.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know what's going on right now. 0-5. Slime Belief have not opened the wall yet. Thomas? No. Oh, well, I mean, he got the battery. Oh, there's also a cave claw. There's also a cave claw here. That's crazy. If I was in ranked and I map a wall and I say, "Oh, guys, I gotta ban the batteries," and this shit is still electrified, I'd be pissed. I'm like, what the hell are these guys doing? But they do map trick the wall. They get it open, and it's recited with the opening pick. Down goes Zach Emilio. He gets a follow-up. This is what we need to see from JJ and Co. Bringing the fight to Slime Belief, who maybe try to get aggressive here. Either way, no trade on that opening kill just yet, and it looks like all three of these players are trying to walk through IT.
Not exactly what you want to go for, just trying to go for broke, understanding that they just don't have the manpower, the info, just absolutely nothing to try and reset this defense. Snake at the bottom of cargo stairs understands that there is a player here, his Fenrir mind going off, but rather is just going to walk away, giving the opportunity to not only Slime Belief, but specifically Reapers to try and take this position.
Zim looking for the entry desperately here. The map looking to open the wall. Bry just gives up his life in the middle of the two sites. Reaper's now likely trying to peek off those map holes. Recited, holding close, catches Thomas's head, and JJ's on the board! Ladies and gentlemen, JJ is on the board and puts Zim in a 1v4. JJ looking for another, but gets destroyed.
It's like a heat sensor.
Utterly obliterated by Zim. Luckily, Snake makes sure that nothing is going to get too out of hand. JJ and Co. find success on their first defense.
Zim really hit him with the just one's too much.
Wow.
Is this our production calling JJ booty cheeks?
On the chair, too.
Oh
my
disrespectful.
Goodness. Oh, the headphones off.
Ooh.
He's going hard.
I didn't know he had it like that. I'm going to be honest. I'm impressed.
I mean, hey.
I mean, maybe that's what they showed him in that one round where they just weren't able to kill him.
He's doing it for that, the content prize, bro. That's what he's doing for it. Shaking ass for money.
He saw that extra money. He's like, that's fine.
Yeah. Dude, that's what he said. He literally was like, Zay, if there's anyone ahead of me in the content after today, you got to tell me. You got to tell me what I can do. Yeah, if there's like, JJ's had some pretty stinker teams in the past, but there's one thing I can always say about JJ is he's a content machine. He's so good. I love JJ was always like one of my favorite players to interview, which sucks because now the host gets to do all the interviews. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I used to be the interview guy. I used to be the interview guy back in T3 and T2. Now it's the hosts. I can't believe it. I can't believe this broadcast meta shift. And Thomas is gone. We're gonna have to rehost.
Oh, that's good. It's only our first. It's only our first. Oh yeah, I wouldn't expect anything else from JJ in all chat.
Yeah. But okay. Just as I put my hand out.
Timing.
Come on out. Listen, I don't touch. I'm just saying that was a coincidence. Let's talk about what we just saw. Right. All right. JJ got thrashed on the attack. Slime Belief were incredibly aggressive. JJ and Co were repeatedly caught out in solo positions. There was a hard lack of refragability. And I mean, hell, the only round they won, the only reason it wasn't a 6-0 is because Reapers didn't look 90 degrees to the left. We had on a defense, though, and JJ and Co are back in the saddle, I guess, playing not just as forward, still a little bit, pushing out a little bit to meet Slime Belief. They've been getting opening kills, and then the most important part that we're seeing from JJ is that they're not getting overzealous too, right? They've been getting the kills and then immediately pulling right back and forcing Slime Belief to force an opening, which they have not been able to. But Zay told me to shut the hell up so that we can go to a break. So we're going to do that. We'll be back once all 10 players are back in the lobby. Guys, we're back. We're back.
Didn't take too long.
You know
Thankfully.
you know what we are? You know what we are right now?
What are we?
We're back. And it's 5-2 Slime Belief still.
Defenders
Actually,
protect
you
your
know,
bombs used by attackers.
someone messaged in the Crucible chat. I think it was our live chat. Someone was like, it's 5-3 Slime Belief, right? I was like, hell yeah. I completely forgot we've only played one round of the defense. So we're going to go down to the basement because JJ and Co have not played it yet. We've got, once again, 2 Electric Ops. We've got Cade and Bandit. We've got the Mira as well from Emilio, who's going to be watching that assembly brief. We've got Recited and Snake, who are probably going to be roaming. I like how JJ and Co played the first round. Basement, though, a very, very different beast than the top floor. You have to extend a lot farther. You're a lot more exposed as a roamer, especially in your fallbacks.
Bomb and defuse it.
So I'm interested to see, do Slime Belief have adequate cuts? Do they just try and brute force these roamers? Because I'll tell you what they don't have, Goose. They don't have a lot of verdict. This is crazy. Do not keep peeking this.
Yeah, just go back down. I mean,
I'll do it.
okay. He did play back. Okay, good. I like that. Nope, never mind. No, they're pulled upside down. You don't know where, but you know somebody's there. You can't just swing blind. He gets the
Got the drone.
drone. And to be
win.
fair, he is wasting a lot of time. They are working other points of the map. Reapers is able to trade Thomas, get rid of those Grimbees very early on, and a phenomenal 1-for-1, and again, just so much time being wasted. JJ and Co more than prepared for Slime Belief to take this
Attackers have
position.
recovered their diffuser.
Has that C4 in their back pocket ready. Does miss it though. You can see that Uzi all the way over by control is trying to potentially work that player, but Recited is able to find him with the C4.
Now Bry shooting yet another drone. We've got 1 in pocket for this attack. Wait, we see Uzi sneaking down, but he gets spotted out by Recited, not to be outdueled with the P10 Roni, leaving Reapers and Zim in a 2v4. Once again, JJ and Co get just aggressive enough to push back this attack and force kills, and not get traded back for it, with the exception of Snake. I love this kind of hit and run style that JJ and Co are employing right now, not committing too much to the super aggressive plays, just committing enough. Now another Goyo pack goes off, delaying Zim's entrance into Exo, and JJ watching those footholds with the TCSG, which also just got a buff. Goose going up from, I believe, 68 damage to 75 now. He's even got a double up here from Recited. What?
Whoa.
This is Bry? What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Dude, that just took me out. What's going on? Okay. Reapers is dead. That's what's going on. And now Zim is in a 1v4. Does it end up being Bry with the kill? Yes, it does. JJ and Co with a second defense.
I heard you. He was alarmed of what you said about his previous stint on Wildcard.
I did. He did.
He took that to heart also. And I think, going back on that round, now 2 rounds completely untraded for JJ and Co. Essentially stumping Slime Belief not finding an answer, whether it be a complete solution or taking advantage of those mistakes. And I think that round specifically on Basement was a round where there were little to no mistakes. Sure, Recited was playing very aggressive, sometimes to the point where we both were worried that he was just going to put himself in a 2v1 that just wasn't really needed. Played that perfectly well, even got a kill off the C4. Also, those cuts, just playing into the, that 1-2-3, push Snake up. He got the trade, even though he did lose his life, only a 4v4. You saw that JJ, being backed up by a teammate, was ready if Slime Belief wanted to take that pick to try and go for a quick hit into Exosuit. Didn't happen, but they were prepared for it. I think it is really a sense where we're seeing a lot of more of that cohesion starting on this defense.
5 seconds left before insertion.
JJ got another kill. He's going to start running it up.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to start running it up. This is the JJ comeback story. Now we're on storage control. Slime Belief rocking the Ram, rocking a good lineup for this site. You've also got the Brava now. Try and deny that information, but it's Snake with another aggressive peek, this time out that cargo window, and catches Zach on the Twitch. Maybe a communication from Recited saying, hey, they've been setting up outside this window consistently. Snake gets aggressive when Slime Belief least expect it. JJ seems to be the site player with the Warden, while you've got plenty of off-site presence, and Slime Belief now have to tackle this bandit trick from Bry.
Yeah, this is kind of a problem, not only that Slime Belief has had, but even JJ Co in themselves to an extent had, is just simply getting these walls open. And JJ and Co, they fully understand that secondary EMP charge eventually will come up. Not going to try to bandit trick it, rather rotating those bandits over inside of server, but a phenomenal job from JJ and Co, and not only wasting so much time, but continuing to hold this top floor, continuing to double up not only in player positions, but with so much defender utilities. This rotate and the cutoff over by IT, it makes sure that if Slime Belief do want to put pressure and want to put thought in taking this top floor, that it's going to take them a lot of time, effort, and manpower to clear it.
Reaper's now on the edge of E-Box, looking to get aggressive against Bry, who's on pillar, but Bandit not exposing himself and evades the shots. Now they know that Reaper's is trying to clear in from E-Box. There's information on Bry that he now denies and pushes up on this Kiva. Thomas, though, catches Recited on the close to the IT breach, I believe. And now Bry has to worry about this IT player who's walking his way in. They've got information, though. Flashes coming through. Bry eventually dies, but JJ catches Zim alone on the bomb site. So now you lose Brava, who attempted to just jump in, and the rest of JJ and Co now abandon the roam, looking to play with their Warden. Snake, though, still on this cargo window. We'll also have to watch where Emilio goes. Looks like he'll be playing for a C4 downstairs, but JJ gets caught by Reaper's angle above. Slime Belief with the man advantage, looking for the execute.
Now just 30 seconds left on the clock. JJ, even though they are down, they can force Slime Belief, if they so do want to, just to play that time, play the sixth man or the third one in this situation. You see Thomas rotating his way over, just not wanting to fully commit. Having Emilio downstairs, essentially, if they don't jump in that window, his position is almost useless. Still having that C4 could find some effect. It's actually Snake to shut down Uzi. Thomas, he needs to find the answer back. He doesn't even know where he is. Rather, though, just trying to get this bomb down. Reaper's forced to take that Legion Mine. Emilio completely no idea where this player is, but Snake is able to get rid of Thomas. Reapers, he rotates out of the bomb site. A 1v2 for him. But they have no real info on his position, no real idea where he is. Neither does Reapers on their two positions. Emilio going for the flank on cargo stairs. He does hear the loud shuffling of that mute. Looking for the pick. He does find it, a triple with a pistol. Now a 1v1. Forcing Snake to get on the plane. Just baits him, just shoots him. He doesn't even need to swing. He understands exactly what he needs to do. Oh! His light! He goes way too quick! And now gives that one exactly what Snake didn't, gave him just enough time to get onto the diffuser. And JJ and Co still find their third in a row on the defense.
Wow. Almost a huge round for Reapers with that pistol. I mean, you think to yourself, right? If he had just taken the time to reload, how differently does that round go? How differently is that 1 versus 1 against Snake? But JJ and Co still played it decently well, with the exception of that mid round here. Recited, yeah, getting super aggressive on that IT breach, but Bry wasted a lot of time. Snake was able to position himself basically in I guess you could consider like Harry Potter, under those cargo stairs, got a surprise kill, killed the planter because Reapers was walking around hitting separate goo mines, maybe trying to figure out where Emilio was going to come from. So Snake, a massive win for JJ and Co now. 4-5, they've brought this back. They were down 1-5 at the turn of the half, and now they, just like Slime Belief, start their defense with a flawless site rotation. Now we go back upstairs, once again doubling up the Cade and the Bandit. We've got Fenrir in play, with Slime Belief, for the first time this game, rock the Blitz.
And on top of that, bringing that Thatcher, kind of that attacking utility that they so need. And it's taken them now 3 to 4 rounds to read into that. JJ and Co are putting a lot of emphasis, a lot of power in defensive utility on denying these walls, having that Cade, having that Bandit. It's taken them so long to adapt and to read into this. And whether or not they are able to get this round, whether or not it took them so long to read into it, you still get it. That's exactly what you need to do. But again, a lot of these rounds for Slime Belief, specifically on this server and command bomb site, are just wasted. The time is just dwindling down on the inability for Slime Belief to get these walls open quickly. That Thatcher is going to be able to get it, at least the left side, just for now. Now only a minute left on the clock. Also able to get rid of the shield over by JJ's position, where Sidedo was able to shut down Reapers.
And down goes your Blitz. I don't know how that just happened. But now you've lost that tip of the spear in the shield operator. Reside is still looking for the fight, and IT lands the headshot onto Zim. A beauty with that Frost 9mm, looking for more as another player is now stacked up inside IT. It's Thomas. Flores sending drones through Aqua, in through the connector. He's very separated from the rest of this attack as these last two players, Thomas and Uzi, try to force IT and Rafters. JJ with a nice shot onto Thomas. Zach losing the fight to Recited. There's a third for the Frost. Uzi dies to Snake on the Pixel. And JJ and Co with their most confident round yet tie the score 5-5.
And now this is where you start to worry about Slime Belief and taking their time out, a very well timed out, and allowing 4 rounds, what could have been a 6-5 scoreline, or at least a 6-4 scoreline, rather. It's just that missed opportunity that could well very haunt them. JJ and Co still in a good position to shut this out in regulation if they just get these next 2 rounds. But again, it's a sense where that coordination from Slime Belief to shut down those players, shut down those crosses that JJ and Co put so much effort into setting up on that bomb site, just was not there. A fantastic job of JJ and Co, not only reading into their own strength as a team, but understanding if they force Slime to go into this execution phase relatively uncomfortable, that they're not going to be able to get it off, really.
We do still have to remember, though, unless JJ and Co take a flawless defense half, they're playing plans.
Yeah. I mean, this is their only chance.
Slime Belief take one more round. One singular point out of the 3 you can win in a best of 1. And JJ and Co have no choice but to play the play-ins. A situation that no team wants to be in because it's a single elim, single match. I believe best of 3. We only got 1 chance. Anything can happen. So JJ and Co looking to now win this round on tank. It was still a very confident defense. Snake got the opening pick on the roam, and then we had just, again, poking and prodding from those players on the staircases with some help from a couple C4s. 1, I believe. No, multiple were thrown. JJ and Co bringing, I believe, the exact same lineup, too. Slime Belief, no more... I think they had a Ram this round, but instead it's going to be Reapers on the Buck, which I believe is a change.
Yes. And one little fun fact that I've noticed, I could be wrong, but going into this defensive half, JJ was 0-5. In every single round that JJ and Co have won, JJ gets a kill. I think that's a thing that probably doesn't really have too much tangible effect, but it's just something a little funny to, poke fun at. But nonetheless, I think it's kind of a situation where you need players to get active. That was a problem that they had on the attack. You see players get really aggressive. Snake has found phenomenal success on this defense, getting aggressive on these lurk-type roams. Recited finding another entry, shutting down Uzi, getting rid of the Dokkaebi.
Another kill cargo? Slime Belief have got to be less predictable here. That's 2 rounds in a row now, I think. Or maybe even 3 that JJ and Co have just worked over towards Cargo, knowing someone from Slime Belief is going to be playing the cut there. Now down a man, Slime Belief, looking for an opportunity but not finding it. So far after the rehost, the only person with more than 1 kill is Reapers, and now he dies to the C4! I'm so sorry, Reapers. I shouldn't have mentioned your name.
You spoke it into existence. You took
did.
his life away.
I cursed him.
You wrote his name into the death note. A 3v5 though for Slime Belief. Somebody needs to find something. Somebody needs to get active. Zim almost being able to find JJ, but just not being able to fully get it. Emilio though is able to be shut down by Thompson. That's exactly what they need, but they need an avenue into the bomb site. Only a minute now on the clock. Their options and their time is starting to drain.
Your smoke go out from Zim, cutting off the connector angle, but Zach getting another kill on Snake will even the odds at 3 apiece. No more C4 for JJ and Co. They are all out. And Slime Belief are still searching for this important avenue into the bomb site. Recited still generating goo mines, placing them around the doorways. They get more powerful as the time ticks down. Those goo mines can single-handedly stop a planter should the round get low enough. In attempt, Zach through Exo, but he's getting burned out. Thomas there with a kill. JJ with the trade, looking for the other, but he needs to hit the reload. And now it's a 1v2 for Bry. The super sub finds himself in a clutch scenario, perhaps to save JJ's team from having to play play-ins. Zach finds him out. Bry takes him down. The time, 6 seconds. Zim is sticking the plant. They've got pings. All Bry needs to do is deny, but he lets it go down, and now Zim wins the fight! Slime Belief from the jaws of defeat. Bry almost had a chance, but now JJ and Co. have no option but to play the play-ins.
Now that it's in existence, it's real. Slime Belief. Even if they go on to lose this in overtime, this would be the second T3 in a row with a play-in that JJ had to play, going all the way back to the last XGS season, I believe around August, maybe around that October point. He did have to play in the play-in. Now in his second T3 in that time span, yet again having to go back and do it. It really does go to show on just how many problems this roster has had, even with success. Before this matchup, even if they go on to lose it, at 2-2, only losing to 2 relatively great teams, but just dropping a player like Didi, that Mr. B, taking a gamble on that, honestly. You don't really know if that system player will work with what you've set up, based months, even years even. It just didn't work out, and it's just nothing really being able to be set in stone for JJ and Co. And Slime Belief doing a fantastic job of just really showing how this core, this new edition of this Garage Talk roster, it can really do.
Actually, wait, I may have lied. It's points, then head-to-head, then round differential.
Okay.
So actually, if JJ wins this in OT, they'll be tied for points. But JJ will have the head-to-head, and Slime Belief will have to play play-ins.
Oh, okay.
So there is still a chance, because right now, with this point confirmed, Slime Belief are at... Okay.
Oh, well, that's...
I don't even want to talk anymore.
You
anyway.
gave him so much.
Right, because RTV are at 6. Oh, no, I think I'm right. Because RTV with their winner at 6. Slime Belief went up to 9 last game. So yeah, JJ needed to win a regulation. Because now they're at 10, and JJ's at 6.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay.
I lied.
Okay.
There is no chance. Yeah,
There's no chance. It's over. Yeah.
It's over. This
plans.
game basically does not matter unless... Well, no, because even if 1 HP somehow beat up next in regulation, it's just...
It's over.
Reality, JJ has the head-to-head. So, yeah, this match basically doesn't matter. At least for JJ, doesn't matter anymore. It's actually really funny. If up next get regulation beaten by 1 HP, 1 HP will knock them out like, because they'll be tied 3 points each, and one each people have the tiebreaker.
Oh, wow, just round robin. Recited, though, is able to find one. Zim, though, is there, more than ready to shut him down. A 2v4, a minute left on the board. That clock is going to start to play in effect. Put that pressure onto Slime Belief. Both Snake and Emilio completely disconnected. Emilio needs a pick. Both just lurking around, trying to potentially find something, but it looks like Reapers is more than aware of where Snake is playing.
Just waiting here, daring the Melusi to try and come back to cargo. Snake may be looking to do just that, but is just dancing around this sledge as now the plank goes down. He may be forced to take in here. Reaper still holding firm. Emilio not in a position to deny at all. Still over by Aqua. Sledge backing off. Does allow the Melusi into the bomb site, but now is the last man standing. This is all but hopeless for Snake. The close fight being taken and won. Now another player lurks on the stairs, lights up Snake even more. Around the window, the pre-fire from Zach lands. He's got both the last 2 kills. And JJ and Co, not a single point gained. Slime Belief confirm top 3 along with Friendship Team and Bands Coast.
Even without Mr. B, the problems continue to linger on just enough to knock them down into that play-in position. A best of 3 that needs to be played before we see them go into the playoffs. And to be fair, we can't even 100% say that JJ & Co. is in a safe place to win that best of 3. We can't go and say that they are simply be the better team. Their Group B is a phenomenal group, the closest group up until Washington Wizards left, and then everything just came down to seeding. But nonetheless, JJ & Co., their time in Crucible will continue to be a hard-fought battle, tooth and nail.
All right, what a roller coaster day for Slime Belief. After suffering their very first loss, they came roaring back with a vengeance. It was, you talked about it, Crow, at the beginning of the show. Were they going to be able to match that aggression? And with a dominant display of that, how are the teams going to be able to deal with this Slime Belief team going forward?
I think JJ actually played around the aggression pretty well on the second half. They had a lot of lurk plays themselves, especially with Snake and Recited getting active on those middle floors. If they just didn't lose that 2-4 advantage, we may have seen, or if they went down 1-5, they didn't do that, we may have seen a completely different game. But still, the 2 attacking wins from Slime Belief would have brought it to overtime anyway. I think once Slime Belief slowed things down a little bit, they were able to read JJ and Co. a little easier.
So, Goose, game 1 today was very dominant, 7-1 victory for JJ and Co. Cruelty on game 2 having a commanding win, 7-4. These first 2 games were full of intensity. They set the tone for what's to come. Break it down for us. What do these results tell us going forward?
I think game 1 showed a glimpse of how this JJ and Co. roster with Bri, if they choose to put them in a position past a sub, a permanent roster, but I mean, up against a team that Slime Belief is just simply better, that I just don't think JJ and Co. right now is prepared for. Cruelty showing why they are pro league material, showing why they got so far in that SI qualifier position, and I think it's kind of a thing where we started off both of these groups where, you know, a lot of things were unpredictable. Now that we're starting to see these settings set just a little bit more, these rosters set in, that we're starting to, you know, read these matchups just a little bit easier.
And Crow, it was a heartbreaker for Slime's first game in overtime, followed by a dramatic, fiery return in the second half of today's games. It was plenty of twists, plenty of turns, and some real fun gameplay. Wrap it up for us. What are your final thoughts on the last 2 matches of the day?
Final thoughts, Slime Belief looking a lot better than I really thought they were going to be, partly due to the fact that, you know, with Thomas, who is still, you know, he's still decent, but like 4 really, really nasty players around him, you know, especially Zim and Zach. Zach, who had a great second map. I expect, though, during playoffs, I don't know how consistently it's going to work, because we see them taking, you know, their second It's their, I think, their second overtime game after Bands Coast. JJ and Co. Obviously playing with a sub. When you get into playoffs, you get into best of threes. Teams are going to start, warming up after that. It's no longer just a best of one. You can no longer just go in and like surprise people for a map and then win. You're going to have to keep this up over a whole series. So hopefully we see a little bit more solid fundamentals from Slime Belief, because they certainly have the gun skill to hang. They just need that foundation to really be a really good team.
Wow, best of threes. It's one of my favorite parts of the tourney. I can't even wait for it. That's where the true test starts to come out. And what a night it's been. 4 best of ones packed with drama, twists, nonstop excitement. From the very first to the double header finale here, every moment has really just kept us on the edge of our seat. But now, as we start to get near the end of play days, the stakes have never been higher. That's it for us tonight, so stay tuned, because the best is yet to come. From all of us at the Crucible, goodbye and good night.